Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bubbas Ball Tire Outlet Arca series here in the Original Rebels Racing League. I'm Eddie Smith, and welcome to VSRN. We're glad to have y'all tonight on a late Friday night. Doing a little bit of racing, gonna have a good time for sure, as we've got about 11 drivers going to take this track in these Gen 4 Cup cars, and we're going to be screaming close to 200 miles an hour, as you'll see in the whole entire season. So looking forward to that, and it's going to be a good one. We're in the playoffs already. Don't have a neat graphic for you to look at, but we just jumped into it. So first round, Michael Kostick up front, 526 points over Brett Bieber with 522. Andy Kurtz right behind him, 520. I mean, it's a pretty close little battle there. So Kostick got a nice little gap there after last week, but not really going to not gonna be able to get a huge gap here, just because there's not that many folks. So there's plenty of opportunity for folks to make up some ground moving forward. I would say, looking at the schedule, we just got this race in Dover on December 1st will be the final race to set the final five for the championship. So it'll be a good rest of the season for sure. And it's just been a great season for Bandits. 4 wins for Jonathan Cofield. He bowed out of the playoffs. Michael Kostick, though, with 3. So then you got Brett Bieber and Andy Kurtz with 1 and 2 respectively. So, but all right, well, let's jump right into the grid if we can, and let's get some of that racing going. What do y'all say? Well, of course, we've got to give out the Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award. So congratulations to Travis Bieber, who will win that award. I'll tell you what. Fix it. Trying to work on this new software, so we're going to make sure everything is right. Get ready to get this thing rolling. There you go, right on top of that. And that's Travis Bieber, got the pole award. So congratulations to Travis Bieber on winning the Chuck Peg Leg Pole Award. Michael Kostick, the points leader, is going to be outside of the front row. Starting in row number 2 is going to be Michael Nash with Brett Bieber. Row number 3 is going to be Daniel Cunningham and Stephen McDonald. In 7th and 8th, going to be Mickey Isaac, Brandon Wallace. 9th and 10th is going to be Jeremiah Holt with Tyler Rice. And then 11th is going to be Chuck Phelps, and Jimmy Cofield looks like he didn't run a time. Not sure if he's going to hop on in or not, but that's your grid. So, well, let's get this thing rolling. I'm excited. We, of course, try to get this off the screen for you. The heck? Well, let's take a look at the track facts. Let's talk about this track. This track has been pretty much removed from the earth. It doesn't exist anymore. Did you see that 2 mile D-shaped oval? Very, very much like Michigan, if you're aware of that. Very much races the same way. So you can expect to see very similar racing to that. Let's take a look at your race analysis. The Gen 4 Cup cars, fixed setup, 75 laps. Total sets 4 with that 1 faster pair if you need it. Boy, I can't imagine we would need that. But only 11 drivers should have a relatively clean race, I would imagine. So, but all right, getting ready to go green here. Travis Bieber is going to lead us down to the green flag. $75 laps here tonight at California. Green flag is out here at California. Well, as I come crossing, scream across the line, Michael Kostick has taken over the top spot with Travis Bieber and Michael Nash there. Right behind him, Michael Nash now looking down to the inside of Brett Bieber. So Michael Nash, whoever it is, Michael Allen Nash takes over the second position here early as they start to get strung out here on this track. It's a big draft track. You want to rely on that draft to give you those big runs. And in this car, you just want to dive down in the corner. They're 170 miles an hour in the middle of that corner. We'll see how fast they get up before they go into turn number 3. 194, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, man, so close to 200 miles an hour. They are really scooting. Take a look who we got on driver cams tonight. We got Tyler Rice, Brandon Wallace, Chuck Phelps, and Mickey Isaac. See Mickey Isaac with the got a little spread. Of course, Chuck with the big, massive sledgehammers. Good-looking bunch. Well, Michael Kostick, your leader at the moment, taking an early lead on lap 1, was able to take over that top spot from Travis Bieber, is now falling back to 3rd. But you can see him really hanging the car out here early, and I love to see that. I mean, these Gen 4 cars, we've talked about them all season, but I think it's really cool to have a car like this, something with a lot of horsepower. These days, horsepower is at a premium in a lot of these series, so to find something that you can really drive with that pedal, it goes from like super late model, you go from like dirt or something like that up to super late where it's all throttle control. Then you go right into the trucks and it's like, ugh, no horsepower. And then you go right into the Xfinity car, a little bit more than the Cup car. You can't hardly turn that thing with the throttle at all. So to be able to have something like this to go back to, man, it's super awesome. And you can really see it as they yaw off the corner and really get those things sideways. Tyler Rice been on the move. He's already up 3 spots from where he started. Seems to be running really well. Now this high side will, I think, come in at some point. I actually raced here in the next gen car earlier today, and the high side was a lot of fun. So if you're going to see somebody on the high side, it's going to be Tyler Rice here for sure. Mind me, just piddling. We on board with Tyler Rice as we see how he's getting around this track. And you see he's already jumping up there, trying to see how that top side works. He's actually doing a big arc from the top of 3 down to the bottom of 4. And you see it got a little bit loose off that off the exit, but you know, we'll be interested to see what this tire wear is going to be like. Look like as Michael Nash hit 203 miles per hour entering into the corner. Got a battle here between Daniel Cunningham and Steve McDonald. Steve trying to get to that inside of Cunningham. Cunningham running a little bit higher 1 and 2. They run a similar line in 3 and 4. See Steve able to get through the middle a good bit better. Donald gets right to the inside. He's looking. Can he get the run that he needs to get? This is a battle for the 5th position as they run down the backstretch. Steve not going to be able to have the run just yet, but he is starting to put a lot of pressure on this 08 machine. To the inside now, trying to get to that left rear quarter. Not quite able to do it just yet. Continues to push though. Seems to be doing a really good job of rolling the center. Steve McDonald does. Of course, being on the inside sure does help. And man, he's going to be right beside him. He's going to clear him. McDonald takes the top spot. Or takes the 5th spot, excuse me. Up front, though, it is a dog fight as Caustic and Nash are nose to tail, and so is Travis Bieber right behind them. Travis fell back a little bit. Obviously, you know, there's going to be a little bit of tire saving anytime you're really putting a lot of pressure. And this track is really, oh man, as Alan Nash gets really loose off the corner there, but able to hang on to it. But this track, yeah, really eats up the tires. You'll see a good bit of fall off throughout the run here. I mean, already after 11 laps, they've fallen off a second. So we can expect to see tire saving be something that you want to make sure that you're paying attention to. Is, oh man, Tyler Rice got real loose off that corner, but able to hang on to it. That's that tire saving we're talking about. And I saw that wheel go left, right, left, right, left, right real fast. He was able to hang on to it. Look at him all the way at the very top, using that seam. So much fun. I think that's the important thing about this track is just you have a lot of fun regardless of where you're running on the track. It's fun to run up there at the top. 3 and 4 is a little bit harder to do than 1 and 2, but you can see he ain't scared of it. Up front, Nash looking to the inside, not quite able to get there just yet. Gonna open the door for Bieber to go to the outside. When will that outside start to kick in? I think we'll see guys start to work their way up towards that top side at some point at the end of this run. We'll see if that does play out as, man, Nash gets a little bit loose off the corner and Tyler Rice kind of shimmies a little bit. But, yeah, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see guys work the top, especially if Tyler Rice starts to make up a ton of time, that's for sure. And this track's all about momentum. You want to keep the momentum up. If you have to lift or check up or you slide the rear end, you like to try to avoid that as much as possible. Every little bit that you do is going to heat up those tires a little bit more and more. But if you lose momentum, I mean, you see right here, if Alan Nash loses any momentum, he's going to end up in 4th. If he's not careful. So, man, he gets a great drive through that corner right there, but gonna get right to the back bumper of the 8. Oh my goodness, as Travis Bieber was super loose coming off the corner, but he's able to hang on to it. As you see some of that aero coming into play here at one of these big tracks. On board with Travis Bieber. Let's see what they're dealing with after 15 laps on these tires. Actually see him getting a little bit tight. He's pushing from middle exit. Had to get off the throttle a little bit. And starting to lose ground to these top guys. Alan Nash relentless on the back bumper of that 8. right, good drive through the middle. Can he hold on to it? You see, he needed to use the whole track to be able to do that. Gives it a little bit too much throttle, gets loose. We've seen that out of him a couple times. Gonna regroup, go back after it. But yeah, it seems like it's gonna be tough to pass. Is Costick starting to really defend that top side. I think if you can get maybe to the outside, you can do something, but it seems like these cars really, as Alan Nash, really out of the groove there. That's going to allow Brett Beaver to get to his inside, but you can see you need to use the whole track on exit. So if you try to get up under somebody, it's going to be tough to complete that pass. So I think you might need to, unless they make a mistake, of course, but you might want to get out to the outside and make the pass that way. So far, some really good racing out front here. As, man, look at Brett Bieber now down to the inside, making a move for second place here on lap 18. This lap's going to click off pretty quick. Top four battles just kind of settling up here. Let's go back here. Go on Chuck Phelps. Battling here with Jeremiah Holt in that 32 machine. And listen at the engines as they get on that throttle. They sound mean. I sure do love that. I mean, I think the next gen car sounds mean too. The Xfinity car may be the best sounding car in real life, but here on the game, the way this Gen 4 car sounds, it's just mean. It's awesome. Going down to the inside in that Silver Bullet 75 U.S. Marines Chevrolet, and he is trying to make it work there. He's going to get a good run this time. Let's see if he can hang on to it. Down the front straightaway. He's got half a car length ahead of Jeremiah. Can he dive down in there and maybe do a slide job? We'll see what he can do here. Jeremiah really drives it in on the outside, right up against the wall. Chuck really rolls the center well there. Going to come off. If he can slide up in front of him, he'll have that position. He stays low and then does slide up in front of him. So Chuck up tonight, up 2 spots here. Now, as far as fall off, we were talking about that already. As here comes Travis Bieber down pit road, first taker. But we're talking about fall off. I mean, they're almost 2 seconds off the pace after 20 laps. That is an insane amount of fall off, and it's no surprise that Travis is ready to come on down and get some of those tires. So it looks like we're gonna have at least a 2-stop race. And if they're stopping, I mean, I don't know. They may be stopping just really, really early. I have it to imagine we're going to have at least one more stop. So he's really revving that motor up. But he's going to leave pit road. Anybody else going to come down pit road? Yeah, Michael Nash is. He's bringing that 27 machine down pit road. So we might have to make 3 pit stops at this rate if they're coming down at lap 22. We might have a 3-stop race. Up here to Daniel Cunningham and Stephen McDonald. And here comes Travis Bieber around the outside. You can see the difference in those tires. Let's go on board with him and watch as he's going to run down. And Stephen McDonald here watches as we go down to that first corner. Just how big a deal tires are going to make. Of course, he really would like to not have to battle with these lead lap cars. Try to get as most as he can out of these tires, but look how quickly, and he's going to go around Steve McDonald. Steve trying to avoid him there, actually kind of gets hung up, gets bound up off the corner. All right, we got Mickey Isaac down on pit road. 4 tires and fuel for the 01. get back out there. He's been kind of hanging around back there and see if he can get up there. Mickey, I'm a little surprised. Normally we see him making his way towards the front, but hasn't really been that way this season. He's going to exit pit road there. You see Jeremiah Holt coming down pit road. Tyler Rice on pit road. And then your leader, Michael Kostick, is now coming down pit road to get his 4 tires and fuel. Isaac coming out of pit road. And it's like Tyler Rice may have sped on pit road as he is currently serving a penalty. Yeah. 42nd hole for Tyler Rice. That's frustrating. That's not what you want to have. As he's going to go another lap down because of it. So Tyler, who was having such a good race, gets caught for speeding, and he is going to need a caution or 2 once this thing cycles around to get back into this thing. That's a speeding penalty here. This type of race is just killer. Brandon Wallace is your leader at the moment. Waiting on him to come down pit road. Expecting him anytime soon. 25 laps here. He's looking in his rearview mirror, knowing he's coming down pit road. Woo! It's very close between Steve McDonald. As he's going to bring that 99. Can he get down to pit road speed? We've already seen somebody get hit with that. Everybody else other than Tyler has been able to get down to pit road, and I think Brandon did as well. So he brings that Reaper Racing Bubba's Ball Tire Outlet Chevrolet down pit road to get 4 tires and fuel. He made it to lap 25, so I wonder if he was saving a little bit of fuel there, because if he can make it to 25, that means he can at least make it to 50, and then he can make it to 75 on just one more stop. So we'll see if that's the call. I think, I really honestly think a 2-stopper is probably going to be the best call, but we'll see how it works out for Brandon, just on how much he's having to save to make that happen. Michael Nash takes over the lead. I don't know what happened to Kostick, other than, well, I do know what happened to Kostick. He came down pit road about 2 laps after these guys, and so now he's in the 4th position, about 4.4 seconds behind the leader, Michael Nash. So just 2 laps there on the track was massive, because now they're running in the low 40s. And they were, at the end of that, were running in the mid 42s, maybe even worse. Brett tracking down Travis a little bit. Brett has got 2 lap fresher tires. Travis came in one of the first ones to come down pit road, and he is going to be struggling to hold off Brett. Brett is about 2/10 faster every single lap. Let's see how hard they fight, but I think Brett's got enough to maybe go up there and challenge Michael Nash, but Travis right now a little bit off the pace compared to your leader. I don't know if he's just trying to save those tires or what's going on. It seems like you need a really hard save. Very few tracks do we have that anymore, where you want to get up there and purposefully run off the pace. And it seems like it was Brett Bieber with a massive slide off of 4 there as they're coming up on Jimmy Cofield, it looks like, in that 53 machine. Jimmy going to stay low. Man, a lot of VSRN love out there. I see some VSRN on the 53 machine. Definitely appreciate that. Jeremiah Holt saw it on the tailgate, or the back bumper, excuse me. And we definitely appreciate that as Jimmy, scared me for a moment. About threw up in my mouth. But always appreciate the love here over in VSRN. Always glad to be a part of these guys and their races. I mean, I've called quite a few leagues with a lot of these guys in it, not just Rebels, but some others. You see Brett Bieber finally able to get the run off of turn 3 and 4, and should be able to complete this pass before he gets into turn 1, and he does. So move Brett up into second place. They are tracking down Michael Nash just a little bit. Brett is consistently about 0.2 faster than anybody. Is he pushing too hard, or is he doing what he needs to do? He's got the freshest tires out of the top 3. So he'll be able to track down Michael Nash, I believe, if he can keep this pace up. Get running right down on the bottom. But they're fighting it. I mean, you can see off the corner, it is no, I mean, they're definitely not taking it easy. It is a handful off the corner. So let's watch a lap with Brett Beaver. You can hear him lifting, working the throttle, steering wheel, throttle at the same time. You lift off, you start to spin those rear tires. If you lift off the throttle, you don't slow down, it just keeps them gripped up. If you push the throttle down harder and you spin the tires, you go slower. So as you start to get loose, you lift off the throttle, do a little bit of counter steering, that keeps that grip, that tire attached to the ground, and you'll be faster. So it takes a lot of work in there, especially when it's loose off the corner like this, but man, he's doing a great job. A little bit faster that lap as well, so he is tracking down your leader. Then we start looking forward to the next pit stop in about 18 laps or so. So interesting to see how the strategies may or may not kind of play out, but right now, I mean, we've seen guys come down pit road on lap. Ooh, as he's getting really, really loose right there, but doing a good job pulling away from Travis. Yeah, I mean, the pit strategy is going to be interesting because we've got some folks who were able to make the lap 25, you know, namely Brandon Wallace, and he is way back in the 9th position. And he is running similar times, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if he can pull it off. You know, I don't know exactly what the... Oh, you hear it? Listen at him. Oh, I'm giving away his secrets. On board, Brandon Wallace. He's trying to hide the fact that he's saving fuel because he didn't clutch it on this turn. But we definitely heard him clutching it down in turn 1. You can't fool us, Brandon Wallace. But he was able to make it to the lap 25, and you see he's coasting at the 3 mark as he goes down into the corner, trying to save as much fuel as he can. He's going to have to give up a lot of time. It's going to be a interesting... I mean, I always love these type of races because I love this type of stuff to see if you can pull it off because, you know, Brandon would admit, while he does have a lot of speed at a lot of places, he may not have Michael Nash speed. And you know what? Sometimes you got to play to your strengths. Sometimes, you know, hey, I'm not going to get up there and pass him for the win. I've got to maybe outsmart him or out-strategize him. And I tell you what, Brandon Wallace can do it. I've seen him do it before, and he's already picked up on it. Now, these other guys too far behind. If he ain't saving at this point, I'm really not giving anything away because you can't save from here if you ain't been doing it. He was able to make it to 25. That means he can make it to 50. He'll have to keep that up, though, for the next 40 laps. That'll be the kicker. I mean, this is a long, long race of 75 laps. It seems like it's short, but, I mean, we're doing 41-second laps. It's going to take a long time. He's going to lose a lot of ground. He's 18 seconds back from the leader at the moment. Now, that will cycle around when they come down pit road, but how big of a loss is he going to have having to coast and try to make it on 2 stops? And the math, which is something I can't do this quickly for Mississippi, sorry, but you know, it's all depending on how much they make up, you know, with the fresher tires making 2 stops versus 3 stops versus the 1 or 2 by Brandon Wallace. So it'll just depend on how much that hit is from coming down pit road. McDonald and Cunningham still battling it out. This is for 6th spot. McDonald getting very close to that apron. Got to be careful of that. That'll throw the car up towards the wall. It'll really get that thing out of shape, but he's really being aggressive with it. And it's one of those fine lines where if you get that tire right on the apron, you can be fast in the middle of the corner, and he definitely is. So he's doing the right thing. Just waiting on the throttle. Gets a little bit out of shape, but is able to stick with Cunningham. And man, look at Chuck Phelps. He's joining this battle as well. Look at him getting loose in there. Really having to wheel that thing. You see him going down to the bottom instead of staying in the draft. Right behind these guys, trying to stay right on that bottom seam. You can see a little bit tight on exit. Couldn't quite get back in the throttle when he wanted to. Loses a little bit of ground. But we saw him run a little bit higher a minute ago. Let's see if he does it again in 3 and 4. No, going to go down to the bottom. He ran that high line for a couple laps and was really making up a good amount of time. But, oh, you see they almost made contact right in front of him. And Cunningham has to get out of the throttle, and that slows up all 3 of them. As they're coming up on the lap car, Jimmy Cofield, who is a lap down. Tyler Rice still looking for that caution. He is the lucky dog. So if caution does come out, Tyler Rice will be in good shape. As see Cofield up at the very, very top. I've got another taker down on pit road. Travis Bieber brings the 114 down on pit road for stop number 2 of 3 for him. We'll be able to see a little bit more of this once Travis comes back on the track, gets a couple laps in, and see where he is in relation to Brandon Wallace. Man, it's going to be a close one. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out. Brandon's got to go another 9 laps at least, and he is going to be getting chewed up by these new tires. So here comes Michael Nash down pit road as well. So leaders coming down pit road. We'll see if Kostick stays out as long as he did last time. I would imagine he's going to come down pretty quickly. He lost a lot of time. We'll see as he's coming through 3 and 4 now, or 1 and 2. We'll see if he comes down pit road. He is in second, Brett Beaver. He's about 4 seconds back from the leader, Brett Beaver. So we'll see if they come down pit road. Oh, hell. See Kostick doing a little gas saving. Maybe maybe Kostick figured out what was going on, but the 8, as he goes by Brett Beaver coming down pit road, Kostick may know what's going on here. So your leader, Michael Kostick, you can hear him saving that fuel, clutching that car, letting it roll. Lets the RPMs drop out, doesn't use as much fuel. So Kostick following along, that's for sure. He has got a 9.4 second lead over Stephen McDonald. As you see, Travis Bieber really scooting, trying to catch up with him, get back on the lead lap. Now Brandon Wallace up to 4th position. Still waiting on everybody else to pit. So the question now is, Did Kostick figure it out in time? And it looks like he didn't, as he's coming down pit road now. Oh, no, he's just saving really, really hard. Holy cow. So he may just trying to compensate for what he's missed already. He's already been on the track for 21 laps. He's got to go another 5 to be able to make it to the end, most likely. So he is really saving. Look how far off the pace he is. Not just in tires, but just how much he is lifting to try to make it. 5 more laps. Can he do it? If he can, Brandon Wallace may be in trouble. Brandon is doing the same thing. Now, the trick is if there's multiple people, Chuck Feltz on pit road slides through his box. But if multiple people are doing the fuel saving thing, you know, then it's a question of if everybody's doing it, you don't want to save too much. You know, Brandon Wallace has been caught by that a few times in the past where he has saved too much fuel and ended up, you know, 4 seconds back of somebody who was pushing just a little bit harder. So you want to make sure that you do. You want to run out right across the start finish line. So we'll see if these guys can make it just a few more laps. I would imagine Cunningham doing the same thing. Absolutely. So everybody seems to be on board what Brandon Wallace is doing. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any surprises. So we're going to see how this is all going to play out. Are the tires going to be enough? I mean, right now, once they come down pit road, they're going to be at a massive disadvantage for a while as Travis Bieber, Brent Bieber are putting down laps that are 2 seconds faster per lap, and they've already been on these new tires for 5 laps. So do the math. That's a lot of seconds. But it's just they have to make 1 extra pit stop. You know, there are some tracks I would say it's not worth the third. You gotta save fuel. Not worth making 3 pit stops. But at this track with this fall off, as it gets close to about 3 seconds of fall off, then, you know, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a great, interesting finish to see how it all plays out. I think, you know, Brandon would love it if the 2 guys in front of him didn't know to do it, but the Caustic just needs to make it another lap or so. He's already been on track for 24 laps. I think as much as he's been saving, I think there's a point where you wouldn't keep saving if you didn't think you could make it. So I think he can save enough fuel to get to the lap 50 and then have to save the rest of the run. You know, that's the other part of this. Not only do you make, you know, you do make 1 less pit stop, but you don't get to run full bore. You have to save and run, you know, a good bit off the pace. So, I mean, they have to save the next run as well. So that will be the question is, are these guys who are just laying it all out on the track? Here he comes. Leader coming down pit road here right on lap 50 for what is likely to be his final stop if we don't get a caution. Cunningham stays out for an extra lap. But likely we'll see him come down pit road this time by. You know, I think Brandon Wallace could be in a pretty good spot. It depends on how much he has saved. If he can go another couple laps, he won't have to save as much. We saw him go a little bit longer. So if that's the case, then, you know, he will be able to run some quicker lap times. He doesn't have to save as much. So we'll see if he's able to do that. No, he's not. Him and Daniel Cunningham both coming down pit road here. Cunningham going to give up the lead. That should rotate the lead back over to Michael Nash, who takes the lead at the line. And he has a 4-second lead over Brett Bieber, the other driver, on that strategy. So it looks like the 2-stop strategy guys are going to be Brandon Wallace, Cunningham, and Michael Caustic. So we're expecting to see Nash, Bieber, both Biebers come down pit road in probably the next 9 laps or so for a 15-lap run to the finish. So, I mean, these guys are going to be just rolling. Nash, there's no tire saving with this strategy, knowing what you're up against, especially if you're Alan Nash. You got to just be laying down some laps, and he definitely is. There's no point saving any tires because you're going to be pitting in about 8 laps or so, and you really need to keep the pressure on these guys who are trying to two-stop it. So he can't just be out there riding. He doesn't know how it's going to turn out. He doesn't know how much he's going to have to make up here as he gets down towards this stop. And, you know, I wonder, knowing you're going to have to make one more stop, if you're Michael Nash, do you come down pit road, you know, in the next few laps, you know, and just completely negate the fact that you're going to have fall off? You'd have a longer run to the finish, but you'd have more time to put the pressure on these guys who are having to save. So that's an interesting thought. You could come in early knowing that you can make it to the end, instead of running to lap 60 or so, come down around lap 55, and then you can really just haul the mail. Try to run those guys back down and have a little bit more time to make moves to get caught behind a lap car. But we'll see what these guys decide to do. If they'll come in now or if they'll push it all the way to lap 64 or so. I mean, I don't know. It seemed like if you're going to do the 3 stop, I'd rather stop a little bit early, give myself plenty of time to hunt them guys down. I'll tell you what, for a 12-car field where it's largely spread out, this fuel mileage has definitely made it an interesting race. I'm up here spinning my wheels trying to decide what they're going to do. Brett Bieber has closed up to 3 seconds to your leader. Brett Bieber has been really, really fast here tonight. And just depending on how this strategy works out, he could finish in the top 3 or he could finish in 6. I mean, we're not going to know until this final pit stop here. You can hear them. I can hear somebody still saving. But when do they come down pit road? When do they make that final stop? And then we'll really have a great outlook on this race and how it's going to end up. I really think you need to come early. I'm really surprised nobody has come on down pit road to take advantage of it. I mean, they're just constantly equalizing the tires. Caustic, while they have to save a little bit, they are able to run competitive lap times because they have 10-lap fresher tires, so they're able to kind of run you down a little bit. You need to equalize as soon as possible. I mean, Caustic is only 19 seconds back. And these guys have to make another stop. Now, I haven't paid attention to everybody, so I don't know if, I'm not really sure if Mickey, I mean, I would assume anybody that pitted 10 laps or more is going to have to make another stop, but, yeah, just surprised that we haven't seen anybody come down pit road out of this bunch and has to pit again, as laps are going to start clicking off pretty quick. And they're really falling off. I mean, they were in the low 40s, but after 15 laps, it starts to really fall away. Got to think somebody's going to come down pit road and try to take advantage of it. Because you're only going to have about 15 laps to go. I mean, there's only, after they cross the line, 17 laps to go in this race. Travis Bieber going to be the first one to come down pit road. Oh, I think he might have spun or something coming down pit road. Take a look at it real quick. Here he is coming down pit road. Saw him down at the, yeah, he gets really, really loose. Got that brake bias turned all the way down. And my goodness, that was scary. for Travis Bieber. He's down in his stop, getting ready to see what he's got. All those drivers have gone around. So now he's going to have to run them back down, and he is pretty far back. I mean, he is Michael Kostick. He's going into turn 1 and 2 now, and Kostick is just crossing the start-finish line. So in 15 laps, he's going to have to make up about 3/4 of a lap. Can they do it? Man, it's going to be interesting to see. Brett Bieber coming down pit road, along with Alan Nash. And Mickey Isaac comes down pit road. So Kostick will take over the lead. Are the tires going to be enough? Or are they going to be able to run them down? We'll see once they come out of pit road where they fall. Travis was the first one to hit pit road. We'll see. Right now he's about 32 seconds behind Michael Kostick. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think he can make that up. I mean, 32 seconds. Brett Bieber's 27 seconds. So that's going to have to be, they're going to have to be 2 seconds a lap faster if they're going to do that. I don't think they can. I was so curious about see how much they'd be able to make up and where they would end up. But yeah, I don't see them making up 26 seconds in just 14 laps. See Tyler Rice on that top side. I mean, definitely the best looking car out there. If we had a paint award, he'd win it. But he's going to go down another lap. As that happens, he's going to bring it down on the pit road. But all eyes on Michael Kostick as he does have the lead. He's got 12-second advantage over second place Daniel Cunningham and 13.5 over Brandon Wallace, who they were all been doing that saving. But that's what I talked about. You know, if you save too much, you end up 13 seconds behind. And that seems to be what happened to those two. So Kostick has played this perfectly. You can hear him cutting off the car even from this point of view. So he's still having to save quite a bit, but he's running the 41.9s. And right now Travis Bieber is running, or Brett Bieber, excuse me, is running 40.3s. He has brought the gap down to 22 seconds in 3 laps. So he has cut a good amount of time off that lead. I just don't think he's got enough time. I think if this is 95 laps, maybe. But even then, that would be another pit stop for him. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see how it's going to be possible for Brett to do it right now. He's going to be running down, dealing with lap traffic, but also dealing with slower lead lap traffic. See if he has to fight really hard here with Jeremiah Holt. A tire difference of about 15 laps. So he's going to be able to go right around him. Interval down to 20 seconds now. 2 seconds a lap. At 20 seconds with just 10 laps to go, that is enough. That is enough. Now, Kostick, he's running 42.6s. I think that might just be a little bit overdoing. I think he's got such a big lead that he can save an extra amount just in case there's a caution. And I think that's what he's doing. I think he knows he's got enough fuel to make it the way he's been driving. And he has got the lead still at 9.5 seconds to really save that extra just in case Brett Bieber does run him down. He'll be able to go hard at the end and doesn't have to save all the way. We've seen him save all the way to the point where they go down in pit road. So if he can save and use this gap, I mean, this gap he's got back to Daniel Cunningham is a resource that he can use. 9.5 seconds. He can just let those guys run him down as he saves more and more fuel. And if Brett does get there, he can just hammer down and make it to the end. But Caustic, really the only driver in the 42-second range. Cunningham and Brandon Wallace both running mid-41s. So, I mean, Caustic is definitely saving more than anybody else. Brett Bieber ran a 40.6 last time by. So, if it kept on at this pace, I would say it's going to be damn close. But there's going to be a point where Brett's tires are going to drop off and start jumping up into the 41.5s, and then I think it'll stall out. But we never know what can happen. He's about 6 seconds back from Brandon Wallace. I think he'll definitely catch. Brandon and Cunningham, but Caustic's going to be a pretty tall order. On board with Brett Bieber, excuse me. I'm going to keep making that mistake. But you can see them. That's Brandon Wallace and Cunningham, those little dots up in front of him. And at this rate, I think it's going to be tough to actually even catch those two. So, Dawson, still your leader. As the 75 of Chuck Felt's going to go around him. Caustic's lead to Brett Bieber down to 13.3, 13.2. As Caustic running 42.2s, Brett Bieber 40.8s. So he continues to put pressure on these guys. I just don't know. I just don't think he's got enough time at this point. Brett is now 3.3 seconds away from Brandon Wallace. And one thing we talked about, these guys up front that's been saving fuel, they do not want to see a caution. I don't think it'd be the worst thing because we know these guys have to come down and get their last set of tires. But, I'm not even sure if they have another set of tires. I think we had 4 sets, and they've come down for 3 stops. So, yeah, I mean, I think they'd be okay with the caution, honestly. They come down. I think Brandon, Daniel, and Michael, not only are they out front saving fuel with just 5 laps together, they also have another set of tires in the pits if caution does come out. So I think I think Caustic's got this in the bag. It's just whether or not Cunningham and Brandon can hold on to a second and third. And Brett is now down under 2 seconds behind Brandon Wallace. Brett, he is 10.5 seconds back, just not going to have enough time to catch Caustic for sure. I know I've probably said that 3 or 4 times, but I keep hoping and praying that we see it play out, but it's just not gonna. But I think 3rd place is definitely an option, as he is going to get to Brandon Wallace, and depending on how much fuel Brandon has and how much he's willing to push it, I don't know how much he'll be able to fight. Brett goes down to the inside. No contest here. Be able to drive right around him. So Brett up to third place. He's got 2.3 seconds to run down Daniel Cunningham. 2.5 after he kind of did a slider there in 3 and 4 to get around Brandon Wallace. But just 3 laps to go to get it done. Gonna be tough. Michael Kostick. Still a 6.9 second advantage now over second place Daniel Cunningham. He's been saving way more than anybody else this run, so he's definitely got the fuel to make it. I don't think there'll be any question. Of course, I could lie to you and say, how can he make it on fuel? But I think he can, and so it's going to be a great run, a great strategy call there for Kostick, and really for the other guys as well. I mean, they're going to end up in the top 5 easily. Two laps to go here in this race. Kostick coming down the back stretch. Brings that Jack Daniels Chevrolet off of turn number 4. White flag is out for Michael Kostick here at Auto Club. Still saving fuel. Not getting out of his rhythm. You definitely don't want to go down to the last lap and drive down the corner differently than you have the last 20 laps or so. So you want to keep doing what you've been doing and end up in the wall or something, or even worse. But coming off of turn 4, Michael Kostick is going to win another one here tonight at Auto Club. Little pit strategy, a little fuel saving, but Michael Kostick takes home the checkered flag. Cunningham going to come home in second place, and Brett Bieber, valiant effort, going to come home in third though. But the first on tires and able to get around Brandon Wallace, who did stay out and did a 2-stop race. So Brandon Wallace comes home in 4th. Travis Bieber comes home in 5th. Michael Nash came home in the 6th spot. Mickey Isaac going to come home in 7th. Steve McDonald in the 8th spot. Chuck Fell's going to come home in 9th. Tyler Rice, with that speeding penalty, going to come away with the 10th place finishing spot, as Jeremiah Holt going to come home in 11th, and 12th is Jimmy Cofield. Little demo derby out after the race, but a great race, a lot of strategy involved, really fun to watch that. And yeah, I mean, just delivered, I'd say. I think that was a lot of fun. Well, we'll get them up into the booth, and we'll have some interviews here in just a moment as we wait to see if we can talk to them. Well, all right, well, let's talk to our third place finisher, and Brett Bieber, who tried the best that he could to come away with that one. and with that 3-stop strategy, but comes away with 3rd place. Brett, is Eddie in the booth? You got a copy? Well, man, that was a wild race. You decided to do a the 3-stop strategy. You got a couple guys trying the 2-stopper. Are you surprised by that? Were you planning on that? What was the conversation about that pit strategy at the beginning of this race?
Didn't quite work out either. So, but I had fun. I thought we did a pretty good job getting third.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It is surprising but I mean, did you think though, even with the way things are playing out, the fall off that you had on the tires, did you think that maybe you had a shot? I mean, obviously you're able to get back to Brandon Wallace, but did you think that, when you came out of the pits, did you think there was any way you were going to get caught up? I mean, you got within 7 seconds of Cossack there. Did it ever cross your mind that, hey, maybe I can get it done?
Yeah, I thought they would be close on fuel, that they would have to maybe back off more to slow their lap time up even from a regular lap, but uh, they did a nice strategy, and I probably should have pitted a few laps earlier than what I did on my 3rd stop to give a little bit fresher tire earlier, but that's hindsight. So top 3's not bad for me, so we'll move on to the next one.
All right. Well, congratulations on 3rd place finish. Who you got to thank?
I guess to thank Travis and Andy jumped on there for giving me a little bit of crew chiefing advice. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast and everyone that runs this league.
All righty. Well, there you have it. That is your 3rd place finisher, Brett Bieber. And let's bring in 2nd place, Daniel Cunningham. You got Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, that was an interesting race. Some strategy call. It seemed like you, Michael, and Brandon knew a little bit more than everybody else. And, talk a little bit about that. When did you know that that was a strategy you were going to be willing to do? Did y'all know beforehand, or is that something you figured out in the moment?
I kind of thought it would be close because in practice, just with tire fall off and everything, I was showing like 20, I think it was like 23 laps per tank or something to that effect. And that was without me doing a full tire run. So I figured it would be close and we could just save a little bit. But I kind of made my decision on it because I saw Brandon hanging around back there, and I'm like, I know he's saving to try to make it to the end. So I wasn't about to let him win another race on fuel mileage like he's done a couple other times. So I literally just told myself, I don't care if it's the fastest strategy. I just want to make sure it's faster than Brandon's, and it worked out pretty well on that side of it. But yeah, it was early on. I'm like, I know if I'm going to do it, I got to commit to it and do it early.
Yeah, I mean, Cossack was pretty far out there. I mean, what do you think the difference was? Did you save maybe too aggressively, or what do you think the difference was? Because you and Brandon Wallace are pretty similar. Was it just that first run that kind of made that difference?
Yeah, I think it was the first run because he actually had more fuel left at the end even than I did because I was out pretty much halfway down the back straightaway on the cool down lap, and he still had enough to do a burnout. So I really think it was just that first run. Uh, I think he undercut by a lap or two, and I didn't do the best job getting on and off pit road all night either. So I'm sure he made up some time there too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you come away with a great finish, cool strategy. You come away with a 2nd place. I mean, it's probably the easiest way to finish 2nd, which is just cruise and take one less pit stop. And but come home in 2nd. Congratulations, Cunningham, on that finish. Who you got to thank here tonight?
Yeah, appreciate you doing the broadcast. Thanks to Brandon for putting on the league. All the sponsors I've got on the car, Rowdy Energy, Cofield with his business. And also thanks to Rise Dispensary over here in Hagerstown, Maryland, that's just up the road from me because fuel saving races suck and they are boring. And having a little buzz throughout this race definitely helped keep it a little more entertaining for me.
All right. Well, congratulations, and maybe we'll be talking to you next week.
Thanks, Eddie.
All right. Well, let's bring in the wiener, Michael Kostick. and I'm sure he is thrilled. Just an adrenaline, action-packed race win from Michael Kostick as he comes home with a massive lead and saves more fuel than anybody else, but did it a lot faster. Kostick, tell me about your fuel mileage. How were you able to get that much fuel mileage and still keep the speed up like you did?
I'm trying to stay as bored as I can, but stay awake. Yeah, I was just clutching it most of the way around the corner on that last run, and I was only about 50-60% throttle down the straightaways, just trying to save everything I could. I didn't think it. I was telling them I thought the fuel mileage would kind of even out closer to 25 as the tires fell off, but it just stayed right where it was at. So kind of messed up my first run and had to call an audible for the second and third runs. But yeah, it was boring.
Well, it was interesting for me because I didn't know how it was going to play out, and we didn't know the 3 stoppers and 2 stoppers because, if this track fell off to a second and a half, it wouldn't have even been a race. But it seemed like there was quite a bit of fall off in this car and track, and it seems like a pretty fun combo. What do you think about this combo?
I think this track suits the car perfectly. I know that first run was real fun racing with them. There's just a lot of different lines you can use with the way the car drives. You can run up high, middle, down low, just opportunities to set up the pass, make the passes. But yeah, with I think we were running 60 or 70% fuel, so I kind of just turned it into a fuel mileage race and took all the fun out of it.
Yeah, well, it bees that way sometimes, but
Yeah.
man, you got the win. That's awesome. And looking forward to seeing if you can win this championship in the next couple weeks. So are you looking at that? Are you thinking about that? You got Daytona Road next week. I think most people will be away for Thanksgiving. You planning on running that? It's a non-points event, but seemed like it's right up your alley.
Yeah, I'd probably run it for some fun. I know the last road course we ran those non-points. Unfortunately, we didn't have many people, so hopefully we get a couple more people out for this one. But yeah, probably run it and have fun, just relax.
All right. Well, you got a massive points lead. You're going to continue to add to that this week as well. A couple wins right here in a row, and man, looking to see what you can do the next couple points races and get to Charlotte, battle for a championship. So congratulations on that win. And who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, thank you for doing the broadcast, BSRN, Brandon for the work he puts in for the series and all the other admins in the league, and all my teammates.
All right, well, there you have it. That is your winner here tonight. Michael Kostick comes home with the victory with a fuel mileage race, but he's able to take home the victory. Well. That was something. Congratulations again to Michael Kostick. We do have a couple awards we got to give out. We got to give out the Hard Charger Award winner. Well, not too many people made up a ton of spots, but guess who did? Brandon Wallace, able to take home that 4th position. Started 8th with that fuel strategy, able to come home with a 4th spot. Man, he wins the No Neck Fast Repair Hard Charger Award. We also have to give out the Hard Luck Award by Andy Kurtz. Well, that's going to go to Tyler Rice. He was having such a great run, and then just there at the end, or there on that first stop, sped on pit road, never was able to really get back into it. So he's going to be your Andy Kurtz Hard Luck Award winner. As always, I want to thank Flexible Freight Solutions for their post-race show. And, thanks to all the drivers here tonight. Thanks Brandon Wallace, Matt Clement. Everybody does a lot of work around here in Rebels. And we are looking forward to the next couple of weeks. We got Daytona Road next week if you're around. Got Thanksgiving plans. We'll see you the week after they go to Dover, which I think will be a blast. It will be off another week. And on the 15th of December, we'll be crowning a champion. The top 5 will race it out for the right to be called champion. So looking forward to that. Either way, y'all have a great night. We will see y'all next time We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. December 1st for Dover. Y'all have a good night. See you later.